Well, hello everyone. Here to show you right here one of my designs right here of talking about for the Disney character, right? And it sure seems that way that whenever you're going to be doing something special for the New Year's, so if it's maybe working on any source of character or maybe anything that you're going to be working on in 102, that yeah, you're putting the year on something, and a lot of times it sure seems that way that whenever it comes to maybe word searches or any source of puzzle, right? But a lot of times it sure seems that way that every time you do think about that in 102, that yeah, that when we do speak about the year a lot of times, you're thinking as to where yeah, are we thinking about maybe the number calculated by the new year or something like that? Or what exactly is it that the new year is telling us? And even in our dreams, right? So it's like a lot of times you're always 102 at the first thing that I was thinking about when I was writing the year right here was about the shadow right here, and so like say the yeah reflection or the shadow, and but it's like say that talking about right here that they have right here is for the 2-0 right here, but then it's like yeah you write down the year right here, but then of course a lot of things that could be going through your mind such as toward anything special that's going to be going on for next year, right? But the first thing that you're going to maybe be thinking about whenever it comes to representing something, and let's just say that if you're going to be talking about a story about the things that you dream about having, though, and the first thing that you're going to maybe think about is that yeah, that I made that right there. Yeah, I'm the one that I wrote that letter, and I was trying to send an invitation to somebody. So it sure seems that way that each time we do speak about invitations, and maybe whenever it comes to talk about dreams, right? Dreams are it's like something that you've always wanted to do something creative, but how many times are we maybe going to maybe think about is that whenever it comes to dreams, right? To where that whenever somebody likes something that you were working on, and let's just say that if it was not even in the instructions, so let's just say that based on the directions for what you were talking about, that let's just say that yeah, that everybody else approached your idea just because of the fact that yeah, that well, that's interesting right there, or yeah, that's impressive right there. So it sure seems that way that each time we do speak about New Year's and like New Year's celebrations, though, and you're always thinking as to where that yeah that for how that idea approaches everybody else, and you're always 102 that that yeah that whenever it comes to signatures right here, talk about for the love story right here. But one thing I did want to mention right here, I'm talking about with this design right here of talking about for the year right here, the Disney character right here of the Mickey Mouse right here, and you have right here for twin 2 right here. So you have right here that I'll go and show everybody here. You got the year right here for the 2-2, right? And so it sure seems that way that each time we do speak about 22 right here, that if like talk about for 22, right? And want to know that okay, yeah, that for 22 right here, that compared to 2-0 right here for 2020, but you're thinking too is that yeah that when we do speak about 22 right here, that are you thinking about is that yeah, but the year for what you call like a number count, or like anybody might even say that when we do speak about any source of design, right? But any source of character that you might think about, especially. But you have right here that this right here is supposed to be an example right here of a logo design right here. So like let's just say that if you're trying to put together like a masterpiece right here, for a logo design, and like I know that whenever I was working on this, I was thinking too if I want to maybe show some examples of maybe a PostScript file for distiller, but whenever I was looking at this right here, I was just thought the first thing that I was thinking about was is about the shadow right here. So what exactly is it that this part right here of this design is telling anybody? So this right here is the 22 right here, along with way it was arranged and how it was designed and everything. But it's like if you were to put the 22 right down here on the bottom, and let's just say if you turn it upside down, and like everybody else might say that what exactly does that mean whenever you do turn numbers upside down? If that's supposed to be like maybe a reflection, or if it's supposed to be anything such as is toward that whenever you're going to be writing down the year on anything that you're working on, and let's just say if you flip those numbers upside down, is that really supposed to represent any source of language, or anything in particular like that? But half the time you will always want to know too that well, really, whenever you do see a shadow like that, and like everybody else might say that you see that, but then it's like you're one oh two that whenever you do put that together, and it seems like that you want to go ahead and include a story about that, and people might say that you go ahead and put together the design, and maybe somebody's going to be asking you about that in 102 that hey, that I really never thought of it that way, but if that seems to be very impressive, very creative. But so this right here is supposed to be an example right here of like any source of logo, but still, how many of us are really going to be thinking about that to where that's supposed to be any source of dream of some sort? But it sure seems that way, that every time we do speak about dreams, though, and at 102, that there are a lot of dreams that we do have, that quite a few of them don't really make any sense, right? But it sure seems that way, that whenever you do look at some of these designs right here and want to know that did you put that together? Okay, what does that mean? What does this mean right here? And so it's like, every time you think about it, and at 102 that you're always 102 that if it was not any instructions for sure, but still, that is that still interesting? And maybe does anybody really find that to be any useful or interesting or anything like that? But where the love begins, but still that but I just saying right here of talking about with stories, though, that when we do mention about a dream, though, that you dream about working on something and putting something together, but then also that whenever it comes to working on something and find out that that somebody was really inspired about what you were working with, and they'll say this toward the designer, and but still, it's like each time you do think about that and want to know that that design that not everybody has seen before, so that's why it sure seems that way, that each time you think about it and want to know too that you look real closely at something and just want to know too that okay, that I don't recall seeing this before, I don't recall seeing that before, but it's like when we do speak about designs like this right here, and I want to know too that the new year right here for 2022 right here, but it's like the twin 2 right there, but then also you have this right here is this reflection right here. So if you were to write the year down on paper, and let's just say that if you were to go ahead and write down the year, and if you were to write it down upside down, right, and you're always 102, that for any reason at all, that why do you think that like anybody say that just to kind of be a little creative about that, and but still that but any source of language, though, and I know with a lot of this digital technology now that you can actually write sideways and write vertical and all that, but for any reason at all why you would want to do that, but it sure seems that way, like everybody else might say that if you're going to be doing that mainly so that way you can just tell them like leave any postscript, like any text or anything like that you want to go ahead and say, if you want to add anything, but still, like if this right here was supposed to be an example right here for like any source of front cover, or front cover to a catalog, or I'm like to a flyer or something like that, but on the other hand, it's like, that for any purpose at all, that you go ahead and put together something like this right here, And I want to know too that, yeah, what exactly is it that what does this mean, or what does that mean right there? But it's like, yeah, what you were really were working with right here is that you were really were writing down the year right there, the year for what you were working with, and that makes a little bit more sense now, just because that you were able to put that together, and along with that you were able to include the story right down here on the bottom. So it's like, yeah, that so anything that you're working with, for sure, that it's like, does it make a lot more sense now, knowing that a lot more information was shared, and like everybody else might say that, how do you know when a dream, makes a lot more sense now than what it did from before, just because of the fact that a lot more information, you learned a lot more since then. But it's like, you're always want to know too that, yeah, what you really were doing is you were putting the year right there. But still, it's like, people may say, speaking about dreams, so is that people may say that, yeah, is that your work right there? Is that part of your research right there? And it's like, yeah, that's me right there. That's my design right there. And so it's like, every time you do think about that, and want to know too that people are going to be looking at that, and want to know that, okay, if that's interesting, or for anybody to say that, talk about for, or never mind. But anybody say, yeah, well, what does never mind mean? Like you're talking about, is that anything that you were trying to talk about from earlier, right? But anyway, you have right here, but cool, but still, I thought I'd go ahead and mention that right there, of talking about with designs right here, and this right here. I don't know if we were all able to look at this real closely right here, listen together, young or old, and knowing about so yeah, talk about for together right here. I don't know if everybody else was able to look at this real closely right here, but this right here is like a Valentine design that I put together, 3 years ago, and yeah, I drew that. I drew that with pen and on a lime paper, and I kept thinking as to where you go ahead and sketch a design right there of two couples, and just thinking as toward whenever you do graduate and all, but still, I thought maybe that we all would like to see that, just because something that you were working with, but still. But whenever it comes to sharing stories and sharing images, though, anything that you're going to be working with, for sure, people are going to say is to where if you don't put the year on there, then maybe people might even ask why. Why didn't you put the year on there? Just because of the fact that whenever you're going to be looking back at all your progress and all that, and want to know too that if you don't put the year on there on what you're working with, for sure, that want to know about as to where that, yeah, would it make a little bit more sense if you labeled it with the proper year and everything? But still, like making sure that everything is all in order, right? But still, it's like, I thought I'd go ahead and mention it right here, because the top right here that shows right here is for the new year, and then you have right here for twin 2 right here, but then also you got the Mickey Mouse character right here. So I kept thinking that, so ways of how to celebrate the new year, that thinking is, okay, yeah, that the ways of how you want to celebrate the new year, that you want to go ahead and pick up maybe any character, or any theme, anything that represents for the new year, right? But it's like, you're always want to know too that seems like that whenever I look at this, you want to go ahead and look at the numbers right here, but then it goes to you were to flip those numbers upside down, so that way you can look at them, in a type of way. But everybody else might say that, I don't see no purpose to why you would want to do that, unless if you're going to be maybe putting up like any source of reflection right there, or a shadow or something like that right there. But like everybody else might say, that just to kind of make it a little bit artistic, or for any reason at all, if those at the year right there written for 22, if that really tells, represents for any sorts of logo design. And, say, yeah, whenever I was thinking about that, I was also thinking too that right there is supposed to be like for a logo design right there. Yeah, for 22 right there. And so if you were to put that for any sorts of logo design right there, and I want to say that if you were to actually change the background up just a little bit, and I want to know too that the two is a two, right? But it looks like a little bit like a road map right there. Whenever you look at those two twos real closely right there, you can maybe look at that as maybe like a road map or something like that. To where if you were to look at the both of the twos real closely right there, and it looks like just a little bit like a road map to where that you go ahead and use the twos right there. But anybody say that whenever you do look at a logo design right there, it's supposed to represent something like a company, right? But it's still that anything that you're adding or maybe putting in the background, or that design is supposed to tell all of us anything in particular. But it's like, yeah, one of those like, yeah, Happy New Year. This is yeah. What you really are doing is that you're just put you're putting a year on there. But still that if you really wanted to do anything real artistic, right? But it's like really that anything new that you're able to come up with. And want to know too that yeah, that you were dreaming about putting this together right here. But it may or may not make a whole lot of sense really. But still at the same time, it's like if you're just telling somebody, hey, Happy New Year, here's a design idea, talking about for the new year. And anything else, anything new, progress made or something like that. But the way I think about too that whenever it comes to dreams, right? But anyway, talk about safer designs right here. But thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.